At the edge of Cairo, 3 mountains of stone rise from the desert. They were ancient before Rome existed, and they have outlived every empire that tried to explain them. The Great Pyramid is the only surviving wonder of the ancient world, but its real mystery is not whether humans built it. It is what human society had to become in order to build it. Giza is only one part of a vast pyramid landscape stretching from Abu Rawash through Saqqara and Dahshur. More than 38 pyramids survive within the Memphis necropolis. They were royal tombs, ritual centers, political declarations, and acts of sacred geography, built to transform a king's death into permanent order. How did mud brick tombs become the largest stone monuments on Earth? And why did that form command imagination for 4,500 years? Egyptian civilization grew along a narrow river corridor. Annual floods renewed the fields, while the desert preserved the dead and marked the western horizon of the setting sun. Around 3100 BCE, rulers united Upper and Lower Egypt. Administration, taxation, writing, and long-distance transport gave kings access to labor and resources on an unprecedented scale. Early elites were buried beneath rectangular mastabas. Below ground lay the burial chamber. Above it stood a visible house of memory where offerings could continue. Egyptian royal belief imagined death as a transition. Preserving the body, sustaining the name, and provisioning the spirit helped secure rebirth and cosmic order. Around the 27th century BCE, King Djoser's builders transformed the mastaba into something new: 6 stone stages rising above Saqqara. Later tradition credited the design to Imhotep, royal official and master builder. Whatever one person's role, the complex required thousands of specialists and a state able to coordinate them. Columns, doorways, and walls were carved in limestone to resemble earlier buildings made from reeds and wood. Stone was learning to speak the language of architecture. The step pyramid was not an isolated monument. Courts, shrines, walls, and underground galleries created a landscape for royal renewal. The smooth-sided pyramid did not arrive fully formed. It emerged through attempts, structural problems, revisions, and accumulated knowledge. At Meidum, a stepped core was altered toward a true pyramid. Much of its outer structure later collapsed, leaving a monument that exposes the risks of ambition. At Dahshur, Sneferu's bent pyramid changes angle partway upward. The reason is debated, but the change likely reflects structural concerns during construction. Sneferu's red pyramid achieved the first successful large, smooth-sided form. By the time his son Khufu came to power, generations of engineering experience were ready. Khufu selected a limestone plateau overlooking the Nile Valley and the royal capital at Memphis. The bedrock offered strength, quarry stone, and a commanding western horizon. The Great Pyramid was built for Khufu, who ruled around 2589 to 2566 BCE. His surviving statue is tiny, his monument is almost beyond scale. The pyramid contains roughly 2.3 million stone blocks. Their weights vary enormously, and the total mass approaches 6 million tons. Originally about 146.5 meters high, it remained the tallest human-made structure for approximately 3,800 years. Its rough core was once hidden beneath polished Tura limestone. In the Egyptian sun, the completed pyramid would have appeared as a brilliant geometric mountain. Before lifting stone, builders established a nearly perfect square and aligned its sides closely with the cardinal directions. Their surveying precision remains astonishing. Most core limestone came from the plateau itself. Quarrying beside the monument reduced transport while reshaping the landscape around it. Fine casing limestone traveled from Tura by boat. Granite for interior chambers came from Aswan, more than 800 kilometers upriver. An ancient papyrus written by an official named Mera records crews transporting limestone by boat toward Khufu's project. It is one of the closest voices we have to the work itself. Workers hauled stone on sledges. Experiments and ancient imagery show that wetting sand can reduce friction, though the precise procedures varied with terrain and load. Ramps were almost certainly involved, but no single complete ramp plan has been proved for every stage. Straight, zigzagging, wrapping, and internal systems remain debated. The honest answer is more interesting than a false certainty. Egyptians combined boats, roads, sledges, levers, ramps, measurement, and disciplined organization across many years. Popular films often show chained masses driven by whips. Archaeology at Giza reveals a more complex labor force of organized crews, skilled specialists, and rotating workers supported by the state. At Height El Ghurab, archaeologists found streets, galleries, bakeries, administrative buildings, and huge quantities of animal and fish bones. The evidence suggests laborers received substantial food. Their bodies also show hard work, injuries, and in some cases, medical treatment and healed bones. Work gangs carried names and identities. Building was physical labor, but it was also administration, pride, competition, and service to the king. Farmers may have served seasonally when the Nile flooded fields, while permanent craftsmen, quarrymen, sailors, scribes, and managers sustained the project year-round. The pyramid was one element in a larger ceremonial system. Valley temple, causeway, mortuary temple, subsidiary pyramids, boat pits, and surrounding elite tombs. A royal body and burial equipment could arrive by water, move through the valley temple, and ascend the causeway toward the pyramid. Priests maintained the king's mortuary cult with food, drink, incense, and ritual. The monument was designed for continuing activity, not silent abandonment. The pyramid's shape may have evoked the sun's rays or a primeval mound emerging from creation. Its meanings changed as royal theology evolved. The complex joined religion and government. It told every visitor that the king could command land, stone, food, expertise, and time itself. Khufu's son, Khafre, built the second Great Pyramid on slightly higher ground. Though shorter, its setting makes it appear comparable in height. Khafre's complex includes the Great Sphinx, a colossal lion-bodied guardian with a royal head. Its exact symbolism still invites debate, but its place in the landscape is deliberate. Menkaure's pyramid is much smaller and used granite on its lower exterior. Size changed, but the full ritual architecture remained essential. Smaller pyramids, mastaba fields, and rock-cut tombs reveal a court society arranged around royal eternity. Giza was a necropolis crowded with status, family, and service. Inside Khufu's pyramid, narrow passages rise through millions of tons of masonry. The experience is compressed, steep, and almost entirely without decoration. The Grand Gallery climbs toward the upper chambers beneath a corbelled stone ceiling, a space both functional and architecturally extraordinary. The king's chamber is lined with Aswan granite and contains a stone sarcophagus. Above it, relieving spaces help redirect the immense weight. Modern scanning has revealed previously unknown voids, but a void is not automatically a secret tomb. Responsible archaeology separates detection from interpretation. The pyramid's geometry is remarkable, but precision does not require lost super technology. It requires repeatable tools, observation, correction, and institutions that preserve knowledge. Alien theories erase Egyptian achievement while offering no evidence, tools, settlements, logistics, or historical chain. Archaeology supplies all four. Forced labor existed in ancient societies, but the biblical enslavement story does not explain Giza. The pyramids predate the period usually associated with that tradition by many centuries. Claims that the Great Pyramid generated energy rely on modern imagination, not archaeological context. Its chambers belong to a royal funerary complex. Rejecting fantasy does not remove wonder. It replaces a magical answer with the harder achievement of real people building knowledge across generations. Later kings continued building pyramids, but economic conditions, royal power, and religious practices changed. Monumental scale gradually declined. Many pyramids were robbed in antiquity. Over centuries, casing stones and temple blocks were removed or reused, exposing the cores we see today. Greek and Roman travelers came to wonder, measure, and leave their marks. The pyramids were already ancient monuments in the ancient world. As Cairo expanded, accessible stone became a resource. Yet the scale and durability of the pyramid cores resisted complete dismantling. 19th century explorers produced maps and photographs, but archaeology also grew within colonial systems that often removed objects and sidelined Egyptian expertise. Modern Egyptian archaeologists and conservators increasingly lead research, excavation, interpretation, and protection of their own heritage. Photogrammetry, ground survey, muon imaging, and other techniques allow researchers to examine structures while limiting damage. Every quarry mark, bread mold, bone, seal, and papyrus can refine the story. Discovery now often comes from ordinary evidence rather than golden treasure. The Great Pyramid survives because mass, geometry, dry climate, and exceptional building practice worked together. Survival was engineered, then tested by 45 centuries. UNESCO recognizes Memphis and its necropolis as an exceptional record of early state power, religious belief, artistic achievement, and building technology. Urban growth, pollution, mass tourism, and climate stress place new pressure on an ancient landscape now bordered closely by metropolitan Cairo. The pyramids belong first to Egypt's history and people, while their scale has made them part of humanity's shared imagination. They show that civilization is not only what a society believes, it is what those beliefs persuade people to organize, measure, transport, feed, build, and remember. We may never reconstruct every ramp or every ceremony, but uncertainty is not failure. It is the open space where evidence continues to speak. Behind the stones stand sailors, bakers, surveyors, doctors, farmers, masons, scribes, and families, most of whose names are lost, though their work remains. At sunset, the pyramids return to silhouette, not relics of an impossible civilization, but proof of what sustained human cooperation can place against time. Beyond borders, beyond the map, into the story, subscribe and continue the journey with us.